Sanbonani, igama lami Khayalethu Khumalo.
Dumelang, lebitso la ka ke Hendrick Lesabane.
Sanbona igama Unathi Nkuna. Molweni igama lami Ntando Qangule.
Dimasiari batho botlhe, I am Phophi Muleya.
Dumelang magaetsho leina la ka ke Dimpho Keetse. Morning everyone, my name is Lilly Simbrouck.
Abusheni, my name is Masungulo Khosa, and this is The Rise and Shine of Comrade Fiasco by Andrew Whaley. Tonight, history takes a turn. There was a fight in Musongo Bar. Tonight, 3 of us were arrested and thrown into this prison cell. 3 of us. Me, Chidina, handcuffed for clapping a cop. Fight in my mind, friend, means war.
Get down!
And jungle?
Hi, Eddie Manogu too, Baju. You discover bars like client, discover spotlight.
Everyone shut up, man!
And baby?
So you ask, what is a woman doing in stocks with 2 grown men? Shortage of space because the stocks are too full. Hey, shut up, Phil! Or because they throw it out like a whore.
Or like I've got a caterpillar brain.
And you need a woman to give this story wings. Hey, who are you sucking your teeth that way? What's his name?
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 What's his name? What's his name?
Tell me his name.
What's his name?
Tell me
What's
his
his
name.
name?
Back it down, man.
You can just stop that now. Stay away from the gate.
But what is your name? What do you mean? You got a name?
Stay away
George.
George! You like George?
Of course he lies.
No, man, no. But what's your name?
George. Uncle George.
How did you get this name,
I
George?
was born George.
How did you get
The king's name.
the king's name?
Because, correct, his name. What is it? I'm alive.
Hey, sensitive.
But I didn't realize we have a king now. What comes the king now? Uncle George! Uncle George! Uncle George! Uncle George! Hey, but I like him. Jungle.
It's history, you know.
What does you think say?
Hi, man. I gave it inside.
Jungle!
You did what, Jungle?
You gave your name away.
Of course. Do you think you can keep a zinc when coming to jail?
Yes, right.
Never gonna let you on. Giving away your names to Britain and asking bloody policemen.
We all gave our names.
Constable has got there, man. My identity, yours, his, one by the other. One on top of the other.
Sink, 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 sink.
Down with it.
Sink down.
Forward, Candias.
Sink down with sink. What better than Candias?
Stop singing!
Sink, 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 sink.
I said away from the gate! You are having a party.
Excuse me. My name is Django, and you are?
Maybe he can't speak. Your ID.
What? You scare him. My brother, my name is Chidina. This is Jungle. And maybe the three of us here.
Sorry, and me. And me too, when I sit here.
And Cole, you tell us your name.
Are you mad? Benzi, yeah. Did you hear?
No.
He can speak.
Brothers, nobody is asking you to join parliament. Just proudly, clearly tell us who you are.
Another name.
Why?
Why? What is this for? What did I do? You want to interrogate me? You want to kill me?
Shut up!
I'm one brain.
Not three.
You were trying to confuse me with 3 types of brains. You can't.
You can't.
Keep away. Don't touch me. I can go back anytime I want.
I do not need followers.
Who are you?
And you?
I am a man among men from the mountains.
Do you know me?
I have heaven and earth within me. I teach myself that the way that the world goes, and whether it's leading from one side to the other.
Jesus wept. They brought a teacher to jail. I just wanted to know his name, who he was and where he came from. He started with a gleamer.
There was a gleam.
A pointer.
A pointer. There was a pointer.
Small source of light, Mama.
There was a small source of light above the village there in Tanganda. The villagers saw it on the mountain. No, man. There must be a man there. Yeah. Wait, but now look. It is missing. There, jumping. There. Like a red eye was free. I was watching. Freaking. What? And one day. You know what I think? Yes. We need to be brave. Let's find it. Yes. Let's find it. Comrades, we cannot go now. Yes. We cannot. Afraid. Yes. No, comrades, let's go in the daytime, comrades. Where we can see.
So when the sun was shining, they sent the young and brave up the mountain to find the man who made the fire smooth. Youth detail, at the ready.
Guys, I found something. What, comrade? It's a footprint. Comrade, keep the foot. How? For court exhibition. Footprint is not a crime, Wena. Look at it again. Wait. How many feet, comrade? 1. Then Mr. Anawal was murdered. Suicide! You are starting. You are killing our comrades. You are starting with your. You know what? Yes. Here's what I think, comrades. We are young. Yes. We are youth brigade. Yes. They sent us to the mountain. Yes. You know what I think, comrades? Yes. Let's go into the. No, comrades. No. Okay, there is not. What? Inside the Comrade, you are scared of spiders, but you are telling us to be brave. Hurry up! You want to be better at your job. What's this?
It looks like a tin of condensed milk.
Yeah. I wanna see this man. Ah, full cream sweetened. Wait! This must have been taken from our village, from our homes. Right. Let's go through the facts. Okay. First, murder, the foot. Second, robbery, So that means we are dealing with the bloody murdering thief. Yeah. With one foot. Yeah. Comrade, and just me too. Yeah. And no fingers. We are busy with an investigation. But anyway, correct ladies and gentlemen at the back there. Yeah.
So, what happens now?
What do we do, Comrade? So what we do is we look for the thing or the person, yes, and then we arrest it. Arrest. Oh, interrupt it. Arrest. Comrade, get looking. Comrade, check that thing. Comrade, check that thing. Comrade, press it. Start it. Whoa! Stand up! You are scared of the village. Get down. Hurry up. Are you ready, Charlie? Yes, I'm ready, Charlie. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, to the heart. Yeah, awesome. You too. Don't make me angry. Sit down. Good evening. As you know, you too. Monday, 9 o'clock in my classroom. I just want to have a conversation with them. Anyways, as I was letting you know, we have been trying to raise some funds. What's this? We are having a meeting here at Musani. What is this?
We are youth brigade, sent to find the man.
Who is the man?
The one who has been terrorizing our people.
Yes!
With strange fires igniting the distance.
Oh, he's the one who's been stealing from people's homes.
Yes,
The one that's taking water from our well. This is... Okay, I repeat. Who is the man?
Nobody knows.
Does anybody know the man? Is he from here?
He is a thief.
Yes! Stealing from people's homes! Living like a hyena now!
Running like a jackal.
Speak!
Fine.
Watching our homes! Using fear and suspicion! Breaking our meetings!
Homes and families.
Dissident! What the
Caveman!
No, I swear, I was brought here by force. You want to murder me? You want to kill me? No.
Listen, this man is a bloodsucker.
It's not.
Disturbing my chickens.
We do not want strangers.
Do you have the papers? No. These are the papers that you have it. What are you looking for? Get down. Refusing part, you are supposed to have all levels. Where's name, address, identity, particulars? Why have you left this empty? We don't know his name, Chief. Ask him.
He doesn't have one, Chief.
Everybody has a name.
He has forgotten, Chief.
No name.
Yes.
Have you tried to make him remember?
We have. He's just not available for comment.
Okay, so he's absent.
No. As you can see, Chef, he's very present. He's just... Yeah.
An address.
But he was living in a cave.
Yeah, of which we were not 100% sure, Chef. If like we could write it down as a proper reason.
Exactly. And further to our investigations, Chef, we were unable to discover if he has a private box number or a private bank.
Yeah. No matter how does he need a private PO box for if he's living in a cave somewhere? How?
For receiving letters and parcels, Chef.
For receiving parcels.
And letters, sir.
Yes, and there was no number on his dwelling there, Chef.
And obviously, Khayalethu Khumalo will go all the way up there, Chef.
Exactly, Chef. It's very steep, even for gods.
Too many rocks, Chef.
Too many rocks.
Yes.
I go. Just go to sleep.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, just wake up and go to sleep. And you?
Oh no, I can't. I want you to
It's fine. I've got this. Leave it with me.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. You go to sleep.
Yeah, Bob. Why do you not cooperate, eh? Are you guilty? You know, if you put on some proper trousers and behave like a gentleman, you could be drinking quietly somewhere.
Get on with questions.
You're not playing a chef correctly. Even with chefs.
I'm trying my best. Are we not all playing policemen?
What kind of policeman says that?
Yeah.
Friends, I was put as the designating member in charge. That means I'm above you.
We can change that. She has more authority than you. We can just swap you out and you become a constable.
We are trying to do something very natural and realistic here.
Then you can't talk of trousers.
I know what I'm doing. Just let me do this. Sorry for the interruption and delay.
What kind of policeman says sorry?
And trousers.
These constables nowadays, they lack discipline. They ask to be sent here. You know, I could be drinking nicely in Chipingo or Maradona. Instead, they sent me here into the desert like I'm Moses. No fridges for beer, no transportation for duties, and now football.
Why are you talking football?
You should know you've got the strike.
I'll show
Oh.
you.
Okay, calm down, dear. National pastime. We've got the army coming from Brikano next week, and those boys know how to kick.
I don't believe this jungle.
What's the good thing about football, man?
I'm giving a clear picture of a police station. You never know, man. This could be your lucky day, eh? What is your number? What is your number? Number 5. Now, but goalkeeper we already have. Hey, bro, what's going on now?
Ngizondwa ngabantu, ngizondwa umakhelwane, angazi nangenzeni na umakhelwane. Yena uzondwa ngabantu, uzondwa umakhelwane, angazi bawenzeni na umakhelwane. Tell my story. All along, it has been you telling my story. All along, it has been you inventing. I have my own words, my own memories. It lasted forever. Forever. Whichever way I go, I couldn't escape that light. It was in my head. Like a torch, boiling my brains. I thought, maybe this is what God has put to us. This is God. It was a long time that I lay there with nothing brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe.
Kandibize noma ngubani azomukhulula usenzini wenxoxa.
Look, he's back in his cave. We just killed.
Yeah, we're trying to make more noise. Wonderful.
Okay, come sit down.
Yeah, have a seat. I might. It's a bit awkward speaking from here, so I'm like, oh, Nkosi. Nyabo, thank you. I can't remember what Sotho is. We'll go on. That was so incredible to watch, and especially there was just so much of an opportunity to follow you through this kind of clear sense of rhythm and light and shade, and there was a good sense of individual as well as ensemble, and also like so many opportunities for laughing, and I was trying not to laugh too much. I thought, oh, that awful laughter is going to be on camera. So yeah, thank you. I'd love to get a sense of your journey in your own words, like a little bit maybe think of it, so you can think of it concisely, like step by step. What did you start with? How did you build the story? What was your inspiration? How did you use your body? Those types of things, so that I can hear it from your perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, the first couple of weeks were hell. We literally couldn't work together. It was just hard getting to know each other, and we just arrived here, and getting to know people is kind of like very weird and hard. And then we decided to first focus on the script and deconstruct it accordingly. And then from there, we dispersed the lines to each other, and then that's when we got into the choreo and the work. And then towards the end, like, we were so in love with each other. Like, it was so hard. Till this day, we still keep contact in our group, because it was just amazing to see where we came from that not liking each other, can't standing each other, to literally being able to create this and form that bond with each other. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think for me it was like quite interesting, because I remember the first, I think, week of class after we had like formed our groups, like Prof introduced us to beadwork, right? So for us who didn't really come from a drama background in high school, it was like the first time hearing that, and as a group we got so invested in beadwork that literally we went through the entire script and we only used this much of the script. So literally, like, we were that like, okay, yeah, well, what is the objective here? What is the objective here? And then once we realized that, oh my gosh, we're only using that little bit of the script, and we started it, it's almost as if for a second, like, the objectives got lost a bit. And, you know, having to adapt the script, it was a bit difficult, because the original script has 3 like main characters, and as you can see, we're 8. So it was difficult doing that, and I think, yeah, we hit like a stumbling block in the beginning. And so I think the first time when we had like the consultation with Prof, and then things started like moving, they were like, oh, okay, now we know like the direction that we want to take and stuff. And yeah, I think in the beginning we weren't really applying what we were learning in class to our group rehearsal. And then we started like after some time realizing that, okay, we need to do this, and this. So yeah.
And there was but there was absolute clarity in the intention for most of it, really.
It was a journey.
It really was. It really was. Yeah, it was incredible. And I would love to hear, we'll go on here, but I'd love to hear about the points that there was like a synthesis of knowledge where you went, like the kind of light bulb moments. Maybe that can be the next question.
So in terms of like in the beginning, as she said, we were very focused on like the script, very focused on stuff like that, to the point where we were so focused on trying to get it done, we went way over time. We were supposed to have 7 minutes to show, and we had like the full 20 minutes already that we were going to do for our second exam. So we were already, let's say, over-prepared for that second exam. And as a result, it felt, at some point, it started feeling over-rehearsed. Like she said, we were forgetting our intention because now it's just like, okay, I say this, and she says that, and then she says that, da, da, da. So that's where intention becomes lost because you're just reciting things and you're just doing movements that you know you're supposed to do. So I think when we all realized that and we all were like, yo, let's actually think of what we can add, what we can take away, what we can add to our characters. We didn't play a big role in telling each other what their character should be, but rather we just encourage each other to build your own character, and then everybody did that, like everybody, you know. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey.
It's quite sophisticated for first year. Like, incredible work well done.
I was literally going to say exactly what you said. Like, I remember what Prof told us. He told us that when we presented it to him when he was consulting with us, he told us that we have a shell, but there's nothing inside. Yeah, and we were like, oh, what does that mean? And he was just explaining that. It was so humbling because we thought we thought, like, literally, because it did for us as well. Like, I feel like we can also say that it did feel a bit rehearsed. Like, we were just trying to get through the lines. We weren't really like playing as Prof was teaching us to do. Like, he told us to play, like, make it bigger, make your characters something big, make the audience remember who your character is. And I think from there, that's when we started like really taking closer attention to what our characters are supposed to be like.
Okay, I think on your second question, our group is a group of very strong-minded individuals, and we all, we have a lot of ideas, we have a lot of input. And I think the switch where we had the light bulb moment, I think was, I don't know, we kind of realized that we all have the same objective. And nobody is saying something with the intention of making the piece bad. And we all realized what we wanted to achieve out of telling the story. And I think from then on, we started working with each other better. And we started to enjoy the process because now we all, like, we've been we've been messaging in the group chat. It's like, what do you mean it's over? Like, we're not gonna, you know. So it's like, it's like, yes, it's been.
You want to keep together?
We want to stay in this group forever.
Unfortunately, we're gonna break you up again.
But you can create your own ensemble.
Yeah, we could. There's this time when we're getting feedback, and Prof mentioned that like this entire thing is like a baby, right? And there's certain elements where we can just like either kill the baby or keep it. And the beginning song was our main baby. That was like, yo, that was our child. So at first when it wasn't working, it was like, what do we do now? Maybe let's just throw it away. But when we finally got to understand the intention, finally got to all understand the story and live in the character's world, it was like easy to bring intention to the song, which is like, you know, when we kept it, I was so happy. But it's literally like that. Like the entire story also is our baby, which is grown, which is why we're also growing. Because as the baby's growing, you as a parent, you're also growing, and we see it with our characters and how we carry the story. So
that was beautiful. Oh my gosh.
So there's this false idea that in order to have unity, we have to all be the same, right? Which you all know is very false. And yesterday I heard from someone who I'll leave unnamed who talked about the African language problem, and I thought, oh my God, this is still like, some people are still perpetuating this myth, but it's a problem, right? And what I saw was this like consideration of who you are and what you're bringing to the space, both in your like singing abilities, movement, of course, languages, and how you move and how you can switch from object into person and kind of fluidity in there. Can you speak a little bit how you both harnessed that internal resource or the multiple resources as well as found unity?
All of us are from different ethnic groups and races even. So I think it was a very proud point for us to input a part of who we are into all of the characters. Like at some point you speak Venda, at some point I react in Tonga, and Khosa, the song is Khosa at the end, and like for us whenever we get this video and we watch it back, it's gonna be like a proud moment for you, like that's me, you know, like that's my culture. I think it's maybe it's a South African thing that we're all very proud of who we are, but it was important for us to have a little bit of ourselves.
That's a continuous thing, isn't
Yeah,
it? It doesn't like just stay.
Absolutely.
The pride is something you have to continue to work on. And so yeah, and then here.
And in that sense of like trying to put in a bit of ourselves and a bit of our cultures into the show, I think what else is that from the beginning we sort of understood that yes, this is sort of, you can say it's an African play, right? But it's also a Zimbabwean play. Like it's also like, so that's where this idea that she came up with to like add this song, just to have some words, just to have some showing that like, just to stay as authentic as we could to the story while adapting it in our own way. So even though like none of us here are Zimbabwean, we know much about it, but like we could say, we could say that, we could say that it doesn't matter that it's not necessarily part of our culture, and I think that's part of like South Africans as well, that like we're so used to getting used to other people's cultures, and sort of using that to build our stories is like really cool that we were able to do that.
And I feel like because we all have our own strengths, like some people are good at singing, some are good at moving, and then some are good with the script. So I feel like everyone here has their own ability that we could be like, trust on this person, be like, okay, so Sungu can sing, let's ask Sungu, like, how can we use our notes? Or let's ask Dimpho because she's good at moving, what choreo should we add to this? Which I feel like really amplified that, because we didn't just take because, okay, I'm good at this, no, I'm gonna do this for me, but I was like, I'm good at this, let me try add it to everyone else so that we can all be good at it, I feel.
Beautiful. Here and then here and then here. Is that it?
Oh, me. The other thing is that in South Africa, like Ntando spoke about how we're just all used to adapting to each other's cultures. When you're in Joburg, literally, Joburg girls say one sentence in probably 3 different languages. Like, we'll be like, yo, batung when angazi, yes, go Wits, and it's like the craziest thing. So it's like, it's a thing in South Africa where everyone is just used to adapting to each other's cultures. Like, ever since I was here, I find myself speaking in Ghana, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta go. And they're gonna be like, what's batung now? So yeah, it's really bad.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But then it's also another step to do it in this type of institution, right? And so to have that in private spaces versus public is a very big step. And I think you've shown that is really possible. Sorry, and then
I think also that just goes back to like what Prof was saying in the beginning. You know, it's how where we come from, it's how we are raised, you know, and that actually reflects now when we're on stage as well. But I just wanted to say also with the whole, because personally for me, I come from a Pedi background. My culture, I'm Pedi, and that's the only language outside of the 2 I learned at school, which is English and Afrikaans, that I know how to speak. And on top of that, I also, you know, singing is not my strength. It's not what the Lord blessed me with. So it was to look at it from the outside. It was to think about it. It was challenging to learn a song that now I have to sing with my voice. On top of that, it's in another language, you know. But I think the unity is what makes it make sense for me to do it, you know. It was a safe space because of how like unified we were. Everyone was so encouraging with like, come on, just try it. No, you can do it.
You don't sound as bad.
Thank you, you know.
Lilly at a point. Lilly at a point.
yeah, both of these two. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
It was just really interesting because I came from a theatre background that was very like, the shows were all either American or British. Like there was no other culture. And I at the time I was like, I thought that was the norm. I thought that was fine. But then I come here and I see all these like different languages and different like cultures in one thing. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like it's really sick that we as well as like everyone in our class gets to make these things. And it's like, oh, okay. And then I look back at like the theater that I did, and I was like, that was kind of boring. All these different things. It's just really cool to like see the different.
Yeah, and you completely rose to the occasion.
Oh yeah. What I have to say, I think most of them said it indirectly, is that my moment of realization was that for the showcase, the first one we did, for rehearsals, I just go there, do my lines, then go back. I didn't connect with anyone. So then that showed in the performance that these people, they're not an ensemble. They're just a group of individuals trying to do something together, and that's not how it works. We have to be together personally before we can show something as an ensemble. Does that make sense? So yeah, I had to learn these people. They are annoying, by the way. I had to learn these people, and I showed them that I can also, you know,
open up.
You like us.
And that you can speak.
And that was the problem. Yeah, me not being comfortable means that my voice is suppressed. So I had to be comfortable in order for my voice to come out, and them embrace it.
I used to be exactly the same. I did voice training to be able to deal with that kind of croakiness and loss of voice and fragility, because I was, whenever I get nervous, it was always the voice to show first, and it was terribly embarrassing. Work in progress. I've done all sorts of weird things. There's something called Fitzmaurice voice technique, where you get your body into like awkward positions and then make this sound, in order to show your body that under stress the voice can work. It's so weird. I taught it to students. They were like, "Oh my god, this has got to be the weirdest thing." Okay, is there anything that you want to jump in with?
Watching television, watching theatre, experience at high school, for those who had an experience of theatre. And then coming here to be told you are using nothing, just a best stage. I would love to know what the experience was and what things were challenged in your mind, in your body, and how did you overcome that?
So just for the video, because you might be a little too far away, the experiences that came to mind from having a blank stage and anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
For me, I didn't have any background in theatre whatsoever, apart from the musical I did 5 years ago. So when I came here, all the terminology people are talking about, like they're talking in theatre, the language theatre, and I'm just there like, oh, okay, what's going on? And then as soon as we got in like a group together, or we were grouped together, and someone will explain like, no, you need to do it like this, no, you need to do it like this. Because for me, I felt like I learned everything through TV, because that's the only form of theatre I knew and all. And I thought that when you're acting, you only need to act as human. Like, you don't need to act as a car, a tree, a thing. You're just human, because that's what I saw in TV. That's what I was used to in the musicals as well. But then when I'm coming here, I'm being told that, no, there's something called ensemble, there's something called adaptation. I'm like, oh, okay. So I feel like in that way, I also grew, not only as a performer, but I grew also as a person, because it kind of gives you an open mind. It makes you open-minded and helps you think outside the box. Yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. It's Lorata, is it? Is your name Lorata?
Kaya.
Kaya.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off of what he is saying, I think for me, I also I love acting because of like mostly what I've watched on television and stuff like that. And when I had done plays, which I did like in the more recent years, I have been doing more musicals and stuff like that. But it was rather large scale in terms of they had the props, they had the money to make us fly. They they had all the necessary things. So I just expected that like it wouldn't be me having to make this invisible stuff visible, right? And then I come here and I'm like, what do you mean I have to be a tree? Like, what do you mean? Like, just get a tree prop. What do you actually mean I have to be a table and all of these things? And I like to think of myself as an open-minded person. I like to think of myself as in that manner, but I think some part of myself, I know that like I was closed-minded to some things, and so. If Prof is like, go like this, and I'm like, what am I doing? What's going on? You know? But I think it's little things like that, that if you open up yourself to those little things, just getting it slightly outside of your comfort zone, that like opens up so many other doors for you. So like, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Sure. I think going off of what Ntando said, I did theatre from like grade 8 to grade 12. I wrote my own stuff. I was like really in it, and I thought, no, I know so much. Like I should have like, yeah, no, this is chips. This is and then literally the first day of Prof's class, like he immediately takes us out of our comfort zone, and I'm like, oh,
that was something.
That was whoa. Yes, and then, like, it definitely took me a while to like get used to it. But then after a while, it's like, okay, I understand like why we're here, what we're doing, and the fact that this is very different. I had to like throw away everything I've learned, not everything, but like it's like very different, and that's okay. Like it doesn't need to be the same, and it's good that it's not the same.
Beautiful, thank you.
I hate to admit to this, but I did go to an art school, right? So coming here, I thought like, okay, it should be something close to what I went through, but it's a different journey. It's so different from the people to the experience, to the classes as well. So what made it easier was the fact that I had to stop questioning things. That's the difference here. She questions everything because why? And I was just like, okay, let me just do. I'll find out why later. And I think that's the one thing that got me through Prof's class. The fact that it was like, okay, be on train. Okay.
Just do it.
Just do it. You'll understand why later. And all the answers, everything made sense later. Why we don't have props, why we don't have so much. We got used to working with nothing. We didn't want costume. We decided on costume literally last minute. We're like, this looks cute.
Exactly. And you know what? I think that's a good thing, because to a certain extent, these things can be almost limiting. Like you rely on them. You rely on the tree to build the world that you're trying to convey, instead of us as theatre makers making the environment in itself, you know. And I think the fact that we just added the costume as just a little, you know, like we didn't need that, but we just some
spicy and
a little.
For me, 2 words: beats and intention. Oh my god! If I hear one more person say beat or intention, I'm gonna flip. Because Prof once said to me, "Don't act your weight." I have no background in theatre. I have no idea what acting your weight is. So I had to stop thinking and just let your body flow and do all the work. And honestly, it took me months to really understand this. It took me months, and he can even attest to that, because even my mark chose.
One final question. This is a bit tricky. If you imagine seeing your cultural resources as something you're bringing into the play, then how does the play add or inform your cultural resources after the play?
Wow, please repeat it.
So if you think, by doing this here and calling on your cultures and languages, and you're performing it to me, performing it to others, what does that do for you drawing from your cultures and languages after this?
Personally.
Okay.
No, I'm
yeah, personally, individually, and not all of you don't have to even answer. I'm just throwing it out there as like a final, slightly intellectual, but just tricky question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, because maybe like you could say I was privileged and I grew up in a diverse community, and English was the common language to speak, and we kind of embraced a lot of that all throughout high school. It was almost second nature to put your culture in the back seat and just neglect that part of you. And I think theatre forces you to confront your culture. It forces you to confront who you are. And it just, how it affects like my culture is like it reminds me the importance of staying in that. It reminds me the importance of because learning is something that's for life. It's a journey, right? It doesn't end. And so does that apply to my culture as well. So I think this has positively affected how I approach and engage with my culture, because it's been in the backseat for so long that I've almost like neglected it. And this just almost is like therapy, It reminds you of your culture, your memories. So yeah.
So thank you. I have no idea who was next.
It's Ntando and then Phophi and then
Just piggybacking again, grew up in the same circumstances, right? That like from just a young age, it was me and that TV. It was me and that TV watching Nickelodeon and all these American things, and like that's a majority of where I learned English from. Yes, school played a part, but from my youngest, it was television. Like everything, all of my experience with acting and all of these other things. So like, because I've also been going to schools that are of that sort, which do embrace diversity, but also sort of, like in my primary school, it was a thing of like, don't speak your home language. They literally were like, don't speak your home language, you speak English here so that everybody must understand English. It's an English school, so speak English. So it was a thing of like, yes, you, even if I can sit there, or I sat there and I was like, no, I'm proud of Khosa, I'm proud of my culture. I know deep down that like, I don't know as much as I feel like I could be knowing about my own culture, you know. I mean, even while we're working on this thing, I'm calling my mom, I'm like, what does this word mean? Like, please help me, what does this word mean? Like, mom, please, how do you pronunciate this word? And it's like, this is my language. And, but like all of these things, seeing every other play as well, showing their cultures, it made me, how do I say, more proud and more interested in my culture. It made me more proud and interested. I want to know more about my culture than I have wanted to know before. So I'm more interested in seeing, oh, like, even when I look at my culture, I just feel so proud. When I look at other cultures, I feel proud of South Africa as a whole. I feel proud to be part of this place, and I think theatre has led me to feeling the way that I'm feeling now, or played the majority role.
Beautiful, thank you.
I just personally, like, English was the only language I speak. Like, my mom is from here, but her grandfather's from England, and then my dad is Belgian. So I like have some European culture, but not much. So I feel like because I didn't have much, I could like I really absorbed everyone else's in a way. Because I feel like I didn't have much to bring to the table for that, but it was just really cool to see everyone else's.
For me, I would say outside of culture and everything, but for me personally, I kind of found it a bit challenging at first because I am a bisexual man, so like it was really hard to be manly because I'm like, oh my gosh, but then I have to be like, oh my gosh, you know, and it was kind of hard to like.
It depends how you define masculinity, right?
Yeah.
What is manliness?
Yeah. So I had to take that out of me and then be the character, and then after that I could have some sense of saying, okay, maybe this is a way that I'm growing in me, because sometimes I'll think of myself as, okay, you're not doing much, you're too feminine, you're doing too feminine stuff, you need to be strong, you need to do strong movements. And then I would look at it and be like, but how can I adapt it to a way that I feel like it's comfortable and in a way that it works with everyone else? And then in the cultural sense, I'm Ndebele and I barely know anything in the Ndebele culture. I don't know how to speak it in any way like that. And I feel like seeing other people and how rooted they are with their roots and how they know everything in their culture was kind of like an opening way to be like, okay, wake up, like you need to know your culture, you need to embrace it, you need to learn it. So that's another thing that I feel like I learned when I came to theatre and Wits and everything. Yeah.
Thank you. There's many more answers than I really expected from this question. I love it.
So, with me growing up, I went to an Afrikaans school, right? So I did Afrikaans from grade 1 till grade 12. So the thing with that is that you had to make sure that you're good at Afrikaans, and you know Afrikaans, and you know English to accommodate everyone. And everyone else was then like, okay, because this culture is more popular, then we can fit it in, then let's speak Zulu, you understand? So being Venda was like probably the hardest thing ever, because when people don't know how to pronounce your name properly, and it's like, I got used to that, like since from creche, my mom told me that I'd come back mad every day because someone said my name the wrong way. And it became a thing, like growing up, that, you know what, actually, because other cultures are rather more dominant, let me rather get used to that. So what theatre has done for me is get rid of that mentality that all our cultures are equally beautiful. Like, they don't need to understand, they need to feel it. Like, I could say something in Venda and she'll be like, what does that mean? But if you can feel it, that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's what theatre has done for me. It has made me embrace being Venda more. Because literally in this class, there's 3 Venda people. So whenever I think of adding a Venda word, I'm like,
and then we're like, yeah.
Anyways, don't feel like, yeah. So it really is that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am with Kaya on this one. I'm Ndebele, and I don't even know a single thing about Ndebele. I grew up speaking to Tita.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so people, like, she would speak Ndebele, Xhosa, Zulu, then Bedi, then there's me. Hey, Kunjani. It kind of made me think about my culture and kind of made me stop trying to run away from my culture and go and learn your culture and be proud of who you are in that culture. So yeah, and for that I am grateful to theatre.
Okay, so since you've so openly shared, I was thinking about something that I could share. So when I had Samuel in the UK, I had, he had described exactly some games, and I facilitated very similar games. There's, physical theatre methods that we use across the seas, in different ways. And so I expected him to facilitate in a particular way. And the way that he facilitated this group of students completely opened my eyes, because I realized that sometimes the way I facilitate students and I expect them to draw from their cultures and languages, I'm not necessarily mirroring as a facilitator. Yeah. And so here he was, in students' faces, just being like, and the students were rising to the occasion because he was embodying his culture, right? And so it's a really stupid thing. And I'm very reflective, and I'm a theatre practitioner, and I'm always looking at how I can include more of myself. But here I was just going, do I embody my culture enough? And I'm always doing this decolonising process. My parents are Irish, and I grew up in Australia, so I'm settler, so privileged settler, also migrant, now being kind of a nomad over the years with privilege. And I'm like, I don't even know how to embody my culture, right? Am I doing that? So I have been, excuse me, voice. I have been on a process of kind of including more Australian elements with British students. Not to kind of make a mockery of myself, because obviously that's at stake. But I have been kind of these jokes kind of work. I can play as some outsiderness. So it has been kind of I'm building a sense of myself as a teacher, which is ongoing, like you guys as performers. But I still don't really know if I'm fully doing it. So that's what this is allowing me to do, and I'm always kind of checking in with that and looking at what I show, what I kind of create in the space, how I can be vulnerable while others are as well. So thank you so much for sharing. It's been incredible to be with you. And I'll get all of your names on the email so we can be in contact as well. I'm moving to Denmark in the next couple of years, so
can you visit?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a spare room. Just got to sort out the flights. This is the thing. I'm really Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck with all of your assessments and everything in the coming little while.
Thank you. I do appreciate the extra time that you gave to